Hi everyone, this is Priyakshi from EV Reporter, and I'm very pleased to have Mr. Pratik Gupta from Strom Motors join us for this session. Welcome, Pratik.
Hello everybody. I hope
Hi.
everybody's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Difficult times for all of us. So, as all our audiences know about Strom Motors, I'm sure they are a pioneer in the Indian electric vehicle space, and they're ready with their first product, that is Strom R3, a compact electric car. It's a two-seater, and it has been designed very interestingly on a reverse strike configuration. So, we'll talk about the car and cover a few more topics during this session. So, first of all, I want to ask Pratik that last time we spoke, somewhere in December 2019, you were planning for a launch in late 2020. So, I want to know how has the COVID crisis impacted your go-to-market plans?
So yeah, I think COVID really has delayed a lot of things. But as in we have to take each week at a time right now. What we had actually a whole consumer launch planned in March, and we were going to arrange test drives and start taking pre-orders, and so it was going to be the whole exercise based in Mumbai. But of course, that all has to be put on hold because we are under severe lockdown. So yeah, as in we are kind of taking each week at a time. But I think the earliest we are getting indications from the industry in terms of supply chain and everything. I think August is looking a time when we can actually do a launch. Again, nobody can decide the timeline. I think it depends on the pharma companies and the scientists who are working really hard to kind of come up with vaccines. I think, but from our estimates right now, it looks like August is a time frame where we can probably do a safe launch, and then cars should start rolling off production line towards the end of this year. And what we've done in the last month at least is we've opened up our digital channels in the terms we have the new website up, and we have a lot of information we are kind of putting on our social media, and people are reaching out to us. And it's been great. People have really appreciated the product, and a lot of them understand the technology underneath it. So we are kind of happy to see that response come through, and I think everybody's kind of waiting for to put everything behind the whole COVID situation behind us and get to work. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Pratik. So, if we talk about the overall adoption of EVs in the country, the adoption has mostly happened in the electric three-wheeler space. For personal mobility, low-speed electric scooters have generated some numbers over last few years. But if we talk about personal mobility and four-wheelers, those numbers have been pretty low. So, where do you see the product market fit for Strom 3 in the Indian mobility space?
So I'll talk about the EV industry in general, not just in India and abroad. So we have been looking at all these numbers very closely in the last year. And wherever you've seen success stories, be it a Nissan Leaf or a Tesla Model, Model S, Model X, or even some vehicles from Renault, what you see is the moment any EV comes closer to the price parity of a competing car, of competing IC engine car, it really sees a lot of numbers. So that clearly shows you there's a lot of demand, and people really are egging to see drive electric, even though it might have limited range, because the initial cars did have limited range and technology, and charging wasn't really up to the mark and all that. But you really saw a lot of numbers. Like it started with Nissan Leaf, the moment with US federal government reducing, giving heavy incentives, and we see that in China also. And in India, you kind of see this in the low-speed scooter. The moment the low-speed scooter after FAME subsidy came close to the price parity, even though it's low speed, limited range, and battery issues were there, but we saw huge numbers in that. So we last year, I think the number crossed 1 lakh.
Yes.
So overall, I think the whole industry understands that uh, price parity is one of the major things, and that's where kind of Strom, even back in 2016, when we were kind of studying the market, we understood that although people do love technology, people appreciate performance of a EV, they appreciate the eco-friendliness, sustainability, but there's only so much premium that a value based driven system can, or any consumer would pay, because we all at the end of the day have to pay our EMIs, and we have to budget our life. So, I think the Indian market also is very simmering in the last at least 3 years with a lot of people, knowing about EVs, wanting EVs, but there's no product that is in the right price point. And, that's where Strom comes into picture. As in, Strom is a platform which is, giving you the ability to have personal mobility platform, which is very heavily tech oriented, in terms of your tracking. The car can tell you what's going wrong with the car, or how's the performance, how's the driving, how the road conditions. Every car kind of feeds into the network to tell you. So even if you are new to this particular patch of road, if some other Strom has driven through this road, that data is available to you. So all that the car is using to estimate real-time range. So there's a lot of all that built into it, but it would all be waste if it's not priced right. So we are trying to work extremely hard to price the product right for the Indian market. Our launch price is for the 200-kilometer car is going to be very close to the entry level hatchback pricing, and with 40 paise per kilometer, you're going to see a lot of people really appreciating that fact. A lot of them actually shifted to CNG in the last 10 years, and we saw a huge spike in that, because again, CNG is much more eco-friendly, but you again have to wait 30 minutes, 15, 20 minutes every day to get a pump, or get a refill. And that's what with EVs, you just plug in overnight and let it go. So I think those are things that I think demand is not going to be a problem if the pricing is right.
I see. I see. So you talked about the price point. So does the Strom 3 qualify for FAME subsidy?
So private ownership, unfortunately, it does not, because of the way FAME 2 has been, modeled, because government wants to make an impact in high mileage kind of situation, which is shared mobility or taxi platforms and stuff. But nonetheless, even without the subsidy of FAME, I think Strom is very competitively priced, and I think the Indian consumer will really appreciate that.
Okay, so Strom R3 is like a whole new product category, if we see. So what will be, I was just interested to know, when we register the vehicle, what will be the vehicle type?
So the vehicle type is under RTO regulations, it's L5, and anyone with a LMV license, which is what most of us have with the four-wheeler, will be able to drive this vehicle. So, it's all streamlined. You don't have to go and get a new license. The same license will work. And, it's very similar to a car ownership experience.
Yeah. Okay. So the product has a reverse strike configuration, and I can see some concerns in the buyer's mind about safety and stability of the vehicle. So could you share your comments on the safety features of the car?
I think the reverse strike does kind of, honestly speaking, even when in 2016, when we looked at it, we were concerned ourselves, and but one fact is we are not the first OEM to come up with there are several OEMs around the world who have Morgan, Polaris, and these vehicles have been in use for a long time. So overall, the platform has proven itself. In terms of engineering, if you ask, a stability engineer to look at it, the stability numbers look very close to a hatchback. So whatever experience driving wise you have in a compact hatchback, I think that's you'll get the same thing. I remember when I was really young and Santro came into in the market, it was the tall boy design, and people thought that, oh, it's going to be unstable. But that car has really been a cornerstone in Indian automotive industry. So I think those things are initial. Once people start seeing it on the road and they start driving it, I think those concerns will be kind of gone, because engineering wise, it's very very similar to a hatchback.
Okay. Okay. And also, I think we'll need more clarity on the need for maintenance and regular servicing when it comes to electric cars. So how frequently the Strom R3 will need servicing?
So, to answer your question straight, the car needs service every 2 years, and it only has a couple of fluids that need to be topped up again, which is brake fluid, and and also we are also trying to give a new service experience. So we're looking at a doorstep service rather than you taking your car to a dealership. The car will automatically alert you and the service center that whatever is wrong with the car or needs servicing or whatever, we will make an appointment with you either when the car is parked at your residence or at your work, and we'll do on the spot servicing. So the experience overall, I think the new consumer is ready for a new experience. And we gone are the days when we thought that the bigger dealerships are the thing. Because right now the convenience, and especially in COVID, and COVID has really made us appreciate the whole e-commerce industry, and one-click delivery, and those are things that people now expect as default. So I don't, although the current dealerships are fantastic, and I love going there because I am a car enthusiast and looking at all the open parts and stuff like that. But frankly speaking, not a lot of people enjoy going to a dealership. They have to take time off from work, and it's just an inconvenience. Every 3 months or 6 months. So we're trying to do away with that. We are trying to do a doorstep experience, and that's why we are also rolling out city by city, because we think consumer experience is the main thing in automotive, especially in Indian automotive. So I think we need to really take care of our customers, and we really need to give them a superlative service. And that's why we're going market by market where we can actually provide that service to our consumers.
Okay. So are you saying there are going to be no physical establishment for servicing? It is all going to
No,
be.
there are going to be physical establishments, and you can drive into them. But we would prefer that you just have this at doorstep servicing. So yeah, it's up to the consumers. But we are trying to push for doorstep experience. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when we compare that with the with experience of a user that is using a ICE vehicle, so I have to go for servicing my car every 3 months, 6 months. So I think this is a big relief.
Yeah.
When you say it's every 2 years, unless of course something goes wrong unexpectedly. So,
Yeah.
okay. Right. And I think my last question would be, generally, because you are a part of the EV industry and you've seen industry evolve, not only in India, but other places as well. So what are your views on the overall industry outlooks? How does it look? It will progress. How will the adoption progress in India going forward?
So I think the adoption, there are certain things that, there is a lot of consumer education required. Like we get a lot of questions about charging infrastructure, as in there's no public, charging stations. How can we deploy charging on a large scale? But remember, even countries which have higher EV ownership and, using 80 or 90% of charging happens at home or at office. So in our urban life or our new modern life, we don't have half an hour to go to a public charger, stand in a line and get our cars charged. We are going to prefer charging at home. So you don't have to rely on public charging. When you buy a Strom, we come and install a charger at your home, which actually is, the charger is on board. We just need access to a 220-volt single phase supply. So it's not even like a very very expensive device. It's just a simple regulated supply. So those kind of things. And also government in the last 3-4 years has been doing a lot of education. So when we started in 2016, we had to kind of tell everybody that EVs are as good or even better than ICE engine cars and all that. But now there's a lot of consumer awareness, there's a lot of understanding, and you don't no longer have to explain EVs to everybody. So that's another thing. And also, as more and more EVs are sold around the world, Indians are also very inquisitive about, I want to try it or I want to drive it. And that's like the number one thing I think for any EV market. As long as you have consumer demand or consumer, anxiousness, I think that's something that money can't buy. So we are really encouraged with what the climate that India has for EVs now. I think it's just about putting the right products in the market, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have like at least 3 or 4 superstars in the next 2 years, and you're going to see wide scale adoption. The way I explain it to people is, a few years ago, we were all buying bigger TVs, and suddenly, high speed internet came to our mobiles, 4G and all that. And we are investing more money on our phones. We are buying more expensive phones than our TVs. So I think when I see a trend of larger SUVs in the last 3 years in India, and people ask me that people are buying larger SUVs, how can EV compete in that, or your compact EV compete in that? I think the market is really ripe for a change. People are going to start thinking small personal mobility, compact vehicle. agility, ease of use, so all of those factors are as important, and in a vehicle like Strom, where you have air conditioning, you have, plenty of storage in front, the rear, it's a safe car, it has the really, high-end premium audio, and, your infotainment system is completely customizable. It's an experience that most, car owners haven't seen in India, or even a lot of countries. So I think those are the really strong points of a EV and, Strom like a platform. And I think so adoption is, I think, around the corner. I think we just need to be, good at, delivering this product to everybody who's looking forward to it. Yeah.
Okay. I think thank you so much, Pratik, for taking the time. And I am personally very excited to see Strom 3 in action on the road soon. And we wish you the very best for the launch.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, looking forward. I hope everybody stays safe. India is doing a great job at, curtailing the numbers, and I think we should keep doing that. So yeah, here's wishing everybody, a healthy 2020. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Pratik.